Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the live stream. My name is CG, and today is actually Tuesday. Um, I started off the session late, so it is actually 1:30 p.m. in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and I'm happy to be right here with you to show you my thought process and my trading philosophy and hypothesis on, how do I analyze the market. So, in order for you guys to understand what to expect and what not to expect, okay? So, what not to expect. So, if you're expecting me to give you like abundance of signal to click buy and sell, and make you excited, hype you up, then I might not be the teacher or the mentor that you're looking for. But if you are actually expecting someone to be genuinely honest, genuinely authentic, to not afraid to show you his very own mistake and thought process and the emotional process that is, emerging during the trading phase and the trading process, then I might be your cup of tea. Because for me, my trading style is really simple, and the way that I educate people and my philosophy and belief in doing live trade and live streaming is simple. I try to be as honest as I can because I believe in the retail trading market is already noisy enough, and I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to add extra noise into the trading space. I hope, I strive, and I wish that I can be the greatest source of signal rather than the greatest source of noise. Because we are packed with noise, everyone is noisy, everyone is flexing, everyone is showing you their Rolex, everyone is showing you their Porsche, they're showing you their Ferrari, their Lamborghini, that they go to Dubai, having the best time of their life, trading. And to me, I'm not saying that all those things are bad. I'm just saying that as a retail trader, it is already tough and difficult enough for us to make profit in the market. Why want to make it even tougher? So for me, my trading principle, my educational philosophy is simple. I just want to be as clean as possible, as truthful as possible that I can and manageable, and that is what I strive for. So if you appreciate authenticity, if you appreciate um, signal, true thought process in trading rather than hype, buy and sell signals, then welcome. Sit right here with me, relax, listen to some music, and I will share with you my reasoning on my trade. Okay, so that's it. So yeah, most of the time when I'm trading in the market, I will be quiet, but I will show you my thought process by typing it down on the screen. So if you want to know what am I actually thinking, you just look at what I'm typing in front of you. I'm very good at, writing down notes, and I don't talk when I don't need to. Because if I want to explain and trade at the same time, it would be mentally too taxing for me. So my goal is simple, to show you how my thought process is every time when I go into a trade and find opportunity to make money. And some days I am in the flow state, some days I perform well, and some days I perform like a piece of shit. And those days when I perform like a piece of shit, I am not shy to show you, and I hope that in front of the screen you can feel that sense of sincerity and epistemic hygiene that we all want in an era that is packed with artificial intelligence, fake gurus, and packaging. So let's go into the market. Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome, John. Welcome, Lavender. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So currently looking at the gold market. Usually I will execute my trade in 5 minutes or 15 minutes. It depends on um, my day, my schedule. And I am leaning more towards an intraday trading approach with an heavy influence by auction market theory. So currently, let me bring you through step by step. So when I look at the daily time frame, what do I first do? I will use the fixed range volume profile to spot where is the high volume node and where is the low volume node. So this is my favorite indicator of all. So what I do is that I stretch it from the lowest swings to the highest swings, the latest higher swings, and I try to understand where is the high volume node and low volume node. So the high volume node means that previously there's liquidity and there's a lot of trades that's being open in this particular area. And low volume node means that usually it's a zone where it is a no man's land. You know, nobody want to trade there. So when price is around low volume node, it means that it's like a highway, it's like a launch pad, right? It's gonna pass through very fast. Okay, so it's being rejected very fast and go back down to respect the high volume node, or it's gonna like penetrate through this structure right here and form a new level. So that is what I'm talking about. So that is going to be always the first thing that I do. I always ask myself, is this what kind of market regime it is actually happening? Not hoping, not predicting right now, right here, what is actually happening in front of my eyes. Okay. So the current price in daily time frame is in a medium volume node, MVN, around here. Okay, so when it is in a medium volume node, it means that the price between buyer and seller is negotiating. It is trying to negotiate and to see which direction do we want to go. And the second would be when I zoom into the 4 hours, you know, a lower time frame. This is my approach. Oh, not 4 minutes, 4 hours. Sorry, 4 hours. And when I zoom into the 4 hours, okay, there are actually buyers showing signs of accumulation, you know, compressing pattern right here. You see, this is actually a sign of buying power is showing a sense of accumulation here, forming a compressing pattern that is trying to form a potential true break, right? So this is what the market is currently doing. Buyer is accumulating power, accumulation of buying power, and is compressing the price so that it can break through the low volume node and perhaps form a new level. This is what, you know, the current buyer want to do. So they disagree with this price and they want to like form a new level and trade around here. Okay, this is what the market want to do. Now to me, I'm not focusing on, you know, um, trend or anything. I'm just looking for opportunity to ride the shift of the market. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to do. So I cannot really tell, you know, is it gonna be successful or not yet because the I'm still accumulating more evidence and information before I make an hypothesis. Okay. Now there's a sign of rejection from the ping LVN. Okay, and the sign would be here. You see, it's being rejected. Sign number one. Sign number two. See, so which means that for this low volume node, there's actually seller, which is distribution power right here, is preventing the buyer from hitting, you know, breaking through this level. So it is a successful attempt for a few times, one time and two times. Okay, so I'm gonna take that as a signal where this LVN might be, you know, this might be a true break that is going to be turn out to be a false break. Okay, but we cannot really make that hypothesis yet. Okay, so right now we're going to zoom in and we're going to see what is going on in the market. So right now we're in 4 hours, and let me just keep quiet and let me do my thing. Okay, Next thing I'm doing is trying to map out the key level. I tend to be very precise in the way that I draw key level. I want to be really as accurate as possible.
It confuses me when I turn the TV on and listen to the news. It's upsetting.
Okay, so we have a level here.
I can't sleep at night sometimes. That's why I don't want to listen to the news late night. Uh, how do we handle that? How do we handle that?
Well, see, when people ask me questions like that, my answer is think for yourself.
Okay.
Figure it out yourself.
So what I love to do is to when I note down all the evidence, and I will try to use AI as my helper to really understand my very own thought process. Right? Got it. Okay, so currently for gold US dollar, the main hypothesis that I came up. So this is actually a work by me, okay, by CG, and after, you know, some help with I personally just convert to cloud. Let me cut this. All right. And this is by so this is a hypothesis between me and AI working together. So currently, let's take a look. So based on the 30-minute charts, buyer fails to break resistance cleanly here, right? It fails to break the resistance cleanly, and the compression is resolving bearish. Um, it is actually resolving right here, okay? Until the one hit structure is reclaimed with a strong close above. So what does that mean? So we need, in order for this structure to still be valid, okay, in order for this entire structure to still be valid, we need to see that the price actually, went from here and have a really strong close here, so that we can see that, the entire structure is still okay. If not, it is starting to fade, right? So let's zoom into the execution level and see. All right, 15 minutes. Okay. So for this particular, in 15-minute charts, um, let me see. So you see there's actually a few signals coming back here, and it is trying to go back up, form a pullback. First attempt failed, second attempt failed as well, and it is actually very far away already. And I will wait for, one more attempt. If another attempt is failed, I will actually go for a sell trade and ride the momentum of this structure, which is, price being rejected here. So I wait for another candle and we'll see how it goes, I wait for this candle to close and we'll see, what's going to happen right after the next candle. So my hypothesis is this one. If, buyers actually fail to break the resistance cleanly, which is already showing right here, okay, and which means that this entire structure of compression, this entire structure is probably gonna fail. And if the entire structure is gonna fail, well, the obvious answer would be that who should you be placing your bet on, right? So for me, I would probably bet on the seller because seller is actually already showing strong signs of distribution power right here. See, already showing the signs. So the battleground would be 4576. If it didn't manage to climb back up, um, it is actually not bad for us to really, make a trade for a sell trade right here. Okay. It will test a few times. So if we were to enter here, this level, slightly above. Yep, this would probably be a good entry. Not a good timing to go in now. Um, a better trigger point would be this level, okay, or somewhere near this level. All right, so here's the plan. So the plan is simple. Um, Let me write it down. Okay, so here's the trading plan. So I'm currently watching the 1 hour time frame, the break of structure breaks. Okay, so what do I mean by break of structure? So based on our hypothesis, we have a structure that is formulating and buying power accumulating right here, which is kind of obvious, right? Right here you have very obvious triangle forming a potential true break. Okay, but right now we would want to see, will this entire structure be broken? So the price need to be retest, below here, 4576.918 from below. Okay, so if we can see in 30 minutes and 50 minutes where actually there's a lot of rejection candles print, then we will be entering a short position. Okay, so currently we already have one candle and two candle, and the third candle is actually currently, in a phase where it is actually, breaking the structure already right here. So I'm looking at a potential sell trade already. Um, I think it has a really good potential for us to go in already. Just a moment. Probably gonna go in for a sell trade right now. Let me check my account. Hey, so my current account balance is 58,667.43. So what I'm trying to do is to really understand. Just a moment. Just a moment. Currently setting up my MT5. Going in for a sell trade. Good timing right now. All right, guys, time to go for an entry. We do have strong signs that the break of structure is going on. So I'm going in at this price. Okay, so my current account size is $58,667.43. And currently I am looking for entry around 4560.40 cents. The stop loss would be around 4583.10 and the TP would be 4515 around that. So it's going to be a 1 to 2 risk and reward ratio. Please help me to calculate the lot size for 1% risk per trade for this particular entry. Thank you. Okay, so my current account size is 58,667.43 cents, and I'm currently looking at the gold market. The entry I'm looking for is around like 4,563, and the stop loss would be, somewhere around 4,500 and 4583.10. That would be my stop loss. And for the take profit, I'm aiming for like 4,515, which is a 1 to 2 risk and reward ratio. And for this particular trade, I'm willing to take 0.7% risk per trade. So please help me to calculate the lot size for this particular trade. Thank you. Okay, got it. Probably going in right now, guys. So yeah, let's go. Just a moment. All right, opening a trade right now, going in at a sell. Okay, sell. Sell trade being positioned. All right, guys, gold, US dollar entering at a sell trade, M15, M15. Stop loss gonna be here. Very tight stop loss. All right, got it. Okay, just a moment. All right, guys. So done setting the first position for today. Type stop loss, but it's fine. It is part of the hypothesis. So go in now and I'll try to set the TP1, TP2, and TP3. Okay. There's a lot of rejection candle already. This would be our very first TP1. Let's go for a second one. Few positions. There you go. So guys, first position for gold during a sell trade. Um, so I'm trading on the hypothesis where this entire structure is going to break. So, price already has been retesting 4576.91 few times, and I do think that there's a slight chance that the the buyer is losing its momentum, and I've already, placed a bet for this particular trade due to the rejection right here. Okay, so I'm taking a 0.7% risk for this particular trade. So I feel content. I feel good. I don't feel like I am lost. I don't feel that I am like sort of like gambling. No, I feel pretty good about this trade. But feeling good doesn't mean that I will be 100% profitable. All right. It just means that I'm following my plan and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay. So there you have it. This is my main hypothesis. So if you guys want this particular trade, the setup, feel free to take a screenshot for this trade. It is actually my observation and with the pattern recognition of AI and to place this trade. Remove this, make it thin. Let's just see how it goes, okay? TP1, TP2, and TP3. Okay, finally got it. There you go. We have our position done setting up. And the next, what we do, sit back, relax, and let the market do its magic. That's all. Oh, not bad. Not bad. I really enjoy this kind of trading style. No rush, not in the rush to prove anything. Just me and the market and my thought process and my students together, working closely to make a trade. Whew. Let me rest, chill for a while, and we'll go for another pair. Okay, guys. So a quick recap on this particular trade. I will bring you through my thought process for this trade. Usually when I, open TradingView and I'm training myself to not to give assumption first. I'm training myself not to give an assumption of that is based on direction. My brain is trying to convince me that okay, is it gonna be bearish? Is it gonna be bullish? My brain is trying to be predictive. My brain is trying to tell me that I can predict the direction of the market. And my rationality, my experience as an option market trader is telling me not to focus on direction. Instead, focus on understanding what the market is currently doing right now. And there's a really subtle difference between understanding what is happening right now and trying to predict what is going to happen later. If you start from understanding what is happening right now, you will feel more grounded. Your emotional state would be calmer because all you focus is trying to collect the evidence and information pieces by pieces like a detective that you can form a high probability hypothesis that allows you to make money and be profitable in the long run. So it took me like maybe nearly 30 minutes to really came up with this hypothesis, right? So I'm looking for, a potential break of structure. And the potential break of structure is supported by a few attempts of, the buyer trying to break through this key level right here, which is the 4576. Okay, this would be the key level. Okay, this black color tick right here, is the main key level that I'm using as a hypothesis, where a few prices is being closed around here, and I think this would be the beginning of the entire break of structure of this chart that you're looking at. Okay, so yeah, there you go. So therefore, I'm willing to take a calculated bet. And for this calculated bet, I'm using like 0.7% risk tolerance for my account. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So the targeted profit is um, around $43. Okay. And I am entering right here. And the stop loss is really tight because if it managed to go up and retest this structure, it means that my hypothesis is wrong. Okay, because right now my hypothesis is that simple. I'm making a bet assuming that this candle right here is not going up to retest this structure anymore. So if it really goes up here and tests this structure, it means that I'm wrong. And it is okay to be wrong because when you are trading the market, you need to understand you are not only using probability and information to trade, you are also participating in uncertainty. And when you're participating and you're trying to make money in uncertainty, it means that you are there's going to be a certain amount of luck that will influence the outcome. And as a trader, you need to be completely, absolutely comfortable in embracing the fact that being lucky or not is part of the business. We are smart enough and confident enough to learn the structure of the market. Yet we need to be humble enough to accept the fact that the market doesn't really give a shit about what we think. Which means that even though, I came up with this really good reasoning, this entire good reasoning that you see here, well, I might be wrong as well. You feel me? I still might be wrong, even though that I've write everything down. Everything looks good, everything looks professional, but still, I might be wrong, guys. Okay, and I think being, mature as a trader, a big part about being mature is that you sort of like learn to accept the fact that, you know, this is just part of the game, right? It is just part of the game. Um, it is just part of the game to try to make money using knowledge, skill, probability, and yet having that kind of mental preparation that you will be stopped out, even though that you make everything right. And during 6 years of trading, I learned that a lot. I used to hate losing. I don't like being stopped out. I hope that, a big part of my trading journey, I hope that everything must be correct. I hope that every time I open a position, it must be profit. And that is not the right way, guys. Because if you cannot really accept being stopped out, you can't really be a trader. Because if your ego is too rigid, you're not flowing like water, then it means that you are not really fit to become a profitable trader because you refuse to accept that everything you do, say, practice is just hypothesis, is just an assumption. You're If you refuse to accept that and you hope that everything that you say, you preach, you forecast must be 100% correct, then trading is not for you. Because trading is for people that say a wonderful story, but at the same time, it is humble enough to being poked by the market and reality that, well, I might be wrong. And that is just part of the game. So yeah, Kashbi, congratulations. Congratulations for going in. How much you're going in? Nice entry, brother. Nice entry. Congratulations. So right now, I'm gonna let it float and I'll see how it goes. Okay, so now we've done with gold. Let's move on to take a look at other pairs. So you see higher highs forming, and then there's a form of there's a subtle sense of break of structure here. So the details, the devil lies in the details, right? And this particular little point right here is the detail. See? This little detail. All right, guys. So US dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, a quick recap on the overall hypothesis. So let's go back to the daily time frame. So you see, based on what we observed right here, there is actually a break of structure from the seller side, which is around this place. And there's a form of the structure which is, a subtle signs of buying power is actually weakening. Okay, so if this is actually the acceleration, and this right here would be the break. It is starting to have this break right here. Okay, so and the current price is actually within high volume nodes, which is a lot of price is currently, being traded around this place. And we zoom in to the 1 hour, and you can see, oops, where is the right here? So let's go to the 4 hours, and you zoom in, and you can see that currently, the price is already forming a lower lows here, which is the bearish structure is actually already forming right now. And there's a key level resistance spotted at 159.75, which is here. Okay, and if you zoom in to the 30 minutes, okay, if you zoom into the 30 minutes, you can see it actually quite clear that the buying power is actually constantly trying to test this level a few times. So the main hypothesis would be this one. Okay, so sellers are actually in control, across time frames from daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay, so the current market is systematically rejecting every buyer attempt at 159,750. So it is actually a sign of strong distribution power. And yes, it would be a really good chance to, trade for price rejection. Okay, it is a good chance to trade for price rejection. Now, how would we actually trade for price rejection? And how would I actually place this trade in the 15 minutes? Okay, so let's say, um, now what we're gonna do, I am going to wait for another attempt. Okay, another attempt for this structure to be tested. And I will use, just a moment. Let's go to the 30 minutes to find for, okay, here. Now I'm gonna do a pretty much really tight stop loss. Stop loss would be this structure, being broken. So I'm probably gonna do my stop loss around here. Not going to be that far. Very tight stop loss. Okay. Let's put it into red color. This would be my stop loss. Probably, yeah, I think this would be okay. Yeah, I'll use this as stop loss. Okay, this would be the stop loss. So going in 15 minutes. And for this particular trade, US dollar, Japanese yen, I'm looking for sell as well. And for this particular sell, I will wait it for retest a few times after this attempt right here, this zone. So I'm going in for a sell, which is a short position around here. And I'm aiming, stop loss here. And if we were lucky, we can ride the wave maybe around 2 to 5. This would be a good trade. Okay. Now, a nice entry would be somewhere here. Okay, this would be a nice entry. Okay, so what we are going to look at is that we want it to have a full candle being closed. Okay, so right now we're going to wait just a moment. Okay, I'm going to write it down. Okay, there you go. So we asked for the entry, right? So the entry is simple. The price actually retraces back up to what 159,750 here. Okay, and I want the M30 to test the level, which is here. Okay, so we're gonna, if my entry is in 15 minutes, I'm gonna use 30 minutes to test the level. So right here, if it's gonna test it few times, I'll see how it reacts. Okay, if the rejection keeps on printing down here, I will be going down here to place the trade. Okay, this would be how I would be trading this particular trade right here. But of course, I need to wait for a few attempts, to see how the seller is actually, is it really strong enough and being rejected. If it's being rejected, I'll be placing price acceptance and let it slide. We let it just go all the way down. Yep, this is my thoughts for US dollar Japanese yen for this particular trade. All right, so before that, let's get back to. Okay, guys, so we have a second potential position to enter for US dollar Japanese yen, but I need it to really test that level first, or else I'm not going to do anything right now. And let's get back to the gold and see how is it performing. So far, so good. On its way to TP1, and there's actually no resistance forming so far. It's a very smooth break right here, and we'll see how it goes. If it hit TP2, I will actually, go for a safety pin and move my stop loss to this zone right here. Okay, and if you guys are already making profit, congratulations for this particular trade in gold. And yeah, that's probably it for today. I always try my very best to go into the flow state and analyze trade with you guys, even though sometimes I'm kind of quiet because I'm doing a lot of thinking behind the scenes. And the most important part is that if I came up with a high quality, high probability trade, you guys not only can press the buy and sell button, but also you can actually learn the thought process behind my reason, because that is how I actually fish Okay, this is how I do the fishing in the market. So yeah, that's probably it for today. Starting from tomorrow onwards, the schedule will back to normal. And today, because I have some personal issues, so in the morning I can't really make it for today. So for those who actually miss the schedule for today in the morning, I apologize for that. Starting from tomorrow onwards, everything will back to normal. Starting every day, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. I'm gonna trade the Asia session with you guys. And yeah, thank you. And later on we will have Alan and Prem, coming to the live stream as well. And yeah, for those who actually make the profit with me today in our community, congratulations. And guys, if you really want to learn more about trading and you want a personalized, one-to-one coaching session with me where I can teach you more about option market theory and the senses that is required to really trade and make money in the market, how to fish, feel free to contact Grace and our customer service. And last but not least, I wish you a pleasant day ahead. I'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Peace out. Bye.